Good morning.
Good
Good,
morning.
good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll try not to take too much of your time, but we appreciate you being here for our interview. We'll give you a brief overview. Welcome to the Berkeley Democratic Club board interview process. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. To give you a brief overview, we will interview you here and the board will recommend their choice to the membership on the forum on September 19th. The board will announce their recommendation and it will show up with an asterisk on the voting ballot. This does not mean you have the entire club endorsement, but just the board recommendation. The entire membership will still vote after the forum, and our membership is around 200 people. And we will keep the voting open through Sunday evening after the meeting. Members of the club will receive an email ballot, and the forum and this interview will be recorded for those who are unable to attend. So for today, you'll have about 2 to 3 total minutes to answer the questions. So we'll go ahead and begin, and I'll start off by saying recall elections often involve serious concerns beyond policy disagreements, including potential issues of malfeasance. Can you explain the main reasons cited for the recall of the elected district attorney? In other words, why do you believe voters should support the recall?
And thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity allowing me, myself, Carl Chan, but also Brenda Grissom. We are both the principal officers for SAFE Alameda for Everyone. Recall District Attorney Pamela Price. So I will first start off, and then Brenda can follow. So basically, we remember anyone being elected. We have to support whoever being elected. However, if the person is incapable or is not performing the job supposed to be, and in fact, I believe that we believe that not only believe that in many incidents, her ideology, and for instance, there are many repeated offenders and also serious criminals. We want to making sure that there will be consequences. But when you are not willing to do that, so there are many victims and their families are suffering. And I'm sure that Brenda has been an advocate for many victims and their families. So I would allow Brenda to elaborate on that.
So, as Carl said, when you're an elected official, there are things that you need to do. The office of the district attorney's job is not to uphold the rights of only those that are accused of a crime. They have a job for the victim as well. As Carl said, I represent about 52 victims that are under this administration. I go to court every week. I'm away from my own businesses more than anything. I advocate for those families. That's not my job. There's an advocacy program that is, attached to the district attorney's office that's not doing their job. I am the advocate for these families, and that's not how the administration is supposed to be run. It's supposed to be upholding the rights of the judicial system, and that's just not what's going on. The recall didn't start till July. It did not start in February. And so that's a misconception that everyone has. The recall was started by myself and Carl, not outside interest. African American. I've been advocating for 13 years. It'll be 14 years in December. My son was murdered December 31st. This is not anything that we're taking lightly. I have met with District Attorney Price. I have met with Cynthia Chandler. I've met with Christina Molina before we even started the recall. So the fact that I did not try to interact with her organization, it's not the truth. And unfortunately, these families are being re-traumatized. I have families who wear bulletproof vests to court, and that's unfair to them.
If you can please wrap up your response.
I'm done.
3 minutes.
Ma'am, I'm done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Carl. Hi, Brenda. It's Richard. Thanks for your time this morning. I think my question you partially answered, but I'll ask it and you can elaborate. So some have expressed concern that wealthy special interests are attempting to intervene in democratic processes by pursuing a recall. So if you just want to elaborate on your response to that concern.
We just want to make sure that, Richard, thank you for this question. But again, if people would realize we need to obtain certain number of signatures, and they have to be Alameda County registered voters. In fact, we have gathered more than 123,000 signatures. So people just saying that only certain interests, but in reality, it's not true. So any one of those who agree with us in terms of public safety, and they're willing to sign on. So those are the people would be supporting us. So I think it's important that we do not discriminate against anybody, their skin color, their political parties, as long as they believe, in public safety. So we're always saying this. It's not only about a recall. When people they believe in public safety, and if they believing what we are doing is the right thing to do, and they have the choice to support or not to support, and that's important. And remember, this is a democratic process. We have to respect all of our voters. And Brenda, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you pretty much said it.
Okay, thank you. Remy, I believe you're next.
Yes. My question is this. If the initiative to recall the district attorney succeeds, what do you envision as a good outcome?
So before Brenda will answer, so basically the recall process, people may know, and some folks may still puzzling about what's the process might be. So what we could do now is actually we can have the November 5th as a recall process. So when that is done, if let's say the recall is successful, it's going to be up to the county supervisors to appoint whoever might be the next successor. But of course, Brenda and I and many of us would agree, we're hoping to be bringing in someone who can really perform the job and supporting, many of our victims and the families and doing the job instead of, maybe Brenda can elaborate on that.
Yeah, there has to be a balance between the judicial system. I did work with the previous administration, wasn't perfect, and the next one is not going to be perfect as well. But there has to be a balance, and we just don't have that right now.
But again, I think the most important thing is we want people to understand, how the process will work. Okay, but thank you. Thanks for that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe Chris has the next question.
Yes. Good morning. So could you clarify for us why you believe there is a correlation between the district attorney election and crime patterns? In other words, why do you think recalling the district attorney will help make Alameda County safer?
Chris, really appreciate this question. Now, remember, we kept saying this, this is more than just a recall, okay? But it's also a wake-up call for all of us to realize who we should be supporting. It doesn't matter if it's going to be DA or anyone running for office. We should do a report card. But again, when we are seeing this, I think her messaging is actually hurting many of us. And not only people are being suffering because of the crime, but also for the criminals. When people, and especially the youth, and they're saying there are no consequences, and we continue to seeing more and more people, especially the teenagers, committing more crimes. And again, we don't want people to go to jail, but for those who are committing serious crimes, but especially they are repeated offenders, there has to be consequences. So what we are hoping to see is the DA can be realizing there has to be consequences so that we can stop, especially the wrong message to the youth. Otherwise, they will keep committing small crime until they will be committing something very serious, which will put them away for a long time. So that's the reason why we have to make that distinction. Brenda?
Well, the patterns are, as I said before, I do go to court. I go to resentences, I go to sentences, I go to pretrials, I go to all of those. The main focus is you have to be held accountable. I've never said lock them up and throw away the key. We need to have people be held accountable. If I go into a courtroom and a young lady committed 5 strong arm robberies in one day and she got 60 days in jail, that's a problem. Murderers not being held accountable. Whatever the accountability is, that is the problem why the crime is going up. People are being let back out on the street, and they are being let back out.
Thank you. So we know that you made extra effort to be here this morning, and we want to give you the opportunity to add anything that you haven't already added, or provide a closing statement. And once again, thank you for being here.
I will start first. I'll make it brief. But again, thank you for allowing us to do this presentation. But again, we respect all of our registered voters. So any decision you make, we just want people to understand why we are doing this recall. And for those folks, they supporting us, please do vote on November 5th. But again, just like what Brenda is saying, we're not here to put people in jail, lock them up. It's all about what is the best way to making sure that, when people are committing crimes, there has to be consequences and has to be fair and legit. So I just want people to give us the opportunity and hopefully that you can vote yes. Brenda?
We just want a fair and equitable judicial system. We didn't need it to be disrupted. We needed it to be on a fair balance. If you're righting the wrongs of those that have been wronged by the administration, you got to start there. They can't still be sitting in jail. We need to be able to have our citizens feel safe. My youngest daughter was just robbed this weekend, and she was with her supervisor in Oakland on Grand. It's not safe. They're out there, and we just want a balance. We just want everybody to feel safe. It's not for us. It's for every single citizen of Alameda County.
Well, thank you so much once again for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful. We look forward to seeing you at our forum.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.